Today, when it rains, you close the window and get comfortable on the couch. It's white noise. It makes you feel sleepy. But for a human being 50,000 years ago, that exact same sound was an immediate, terrifying crisis. A long, heavy rainstorm could kill you in 3 distinct ways before it even stopped. First, a wet human loses body heat up to 25 times faster than a dry one, triggering hypothermia in hours. Second, because humans lived at the base of hillsides, heavy rain meant sudden flash floods inside occupied caves. And third, rain drove predators into shelter too. This extreme weather squeezed the entire local ecosystem, forcing vulnerable humans and apex predators, like leopards, to seek out the exact same dry rock shelters at the exact same time. A multi-day storm left you trapped. Your entire cognitive bandwidth snapped away from the future and locked entirely onto the absolute baseline of immediate physical survival. In the middle of that environmental compression, a single job overrode all other priorities: keeping the existing fire alive. Creating a fire from scratch was an incredibly difficult, unreliable skill. To avoid starting over, groups transported smoldering coals packed inside a woody mushroom called tinder fungus. If those flames struggled, they relied on birch bark, which contains betulin, a compound that actively repels water and catches sparks even soaked. A designated firekeeper might sit entirely stationary for hours, doing absolutely nothing but shielding the flames and feeding them piece by piece. Securing the fire solved the immediate threat of hypothermia and predators, but that stability locked our ancestors into a brand new, agonizing challenge: profound, unyielding physical confinement. You're warm, you're dry, and you cannot leave. The human brain immediately shifts to proactive manufacturing. Archaeologists consistently find massive piles of flint-flaking debris concentrated around the specific spots inside caves where someone would sit near the firelight and work. They carved incredibly delicate items like bone needles with tiny drilled eyes. You don't craft a bone needle while tracking a herd. You make it when you have unbroken hours of total static focus. At Abri du Moras in France, researchers found evidence of the ultimate bad weather task: string. Twisting plant fibers into rope is a slow, highly repetitive process that demands immense patience and focused attention. Being trapped indoors provided the vital, uninterrupted hours early humans needed to systematically upgrade their engineering and technological systems. Eventually, the tools are sharpened and the rope is twisted. But if the rain continues for days, the confined brain looks for higher, abstract stimulation. Ancient artists crawled hundreds of meters into total, suffocating darkness, carrying small animal fat lamps, just to draw overlapping lions on the walls with incredible anatomical tension. Nobody spends thousands of hours grinding pigment and painting deep underground when the weather is perfect and the hunting is good. The sheer physical trap of the cave acted as a psychological pressure cooker, forcing the human mind past practical tasks and resulting in our deepest, most sophisticated creative expression. Confinement also triggered a complex social dynamic. Forcing 15 to 30 individuals to sit shoulder to shoulder for days creates immense psychological friction. Anthropologists studying the Zhuangzi Bushmen in the Kalahari found that daytime conversations revolve almost entirely around practical complaints, land rights, and logistics. But at night, grouped closely around a fire, the tension drops. Over 80% of the communication shifts to myths, songs, and critical ecological knowledge. This localized storytelling scaled into massive cultural memory. Australian Aboriginal oral traditions describing sea level changes have survived for 7,000 years, strictly through groups sitting together and repeating those stories word for word. The rainy campfire functioned as a vital transmission hub, allowing early humans to download hard-won survival data from older brains directly into younger ones. When the storm finally breaks, the landscape shifts. The terrain becomes a resource-dense environment for those ready to exploit it. The soft ground offers perfectly clear tracks for hunting. Tubers are easier to dig, edible plants explode with growth, and massive termite swarms provide dense, zero-effort protein right on the surface. The long rain acted as a sweeping ecological reset, heavily rewarding the groups who understood exactly how to exploit it. The people stepping out of the cave are armed with sharper points, more durable rope, and a reinforced collective memory. Ancient humans never experienced modern boredom. When your survival depends entirely on what your hands and mind can produce in the next few hours, you don't get bored, you get to work. These rainy days offered the vital, focused downtime required to build the technical and social foundations mentioned throughout this history. The archaeological records suggest that these periods of confinement were the essential intervals where human craftsmanship and cultural transmission took their most significant leaps forward.